Yo, welcome to OTR Sports, the show that gives you sports with a dash of culture. Today's show is powered by Off the Record Podcast and Crossover Media, your one stop shop for podcast full of sports and culture. Fellas, what's up, man? Where we been at? Where we been at?
Man, where have we been?
It's been a
What
minute.
up? What
I'm
up? What
like,
up?
Sport.
I'm
What's up, everybody?
I'm rusty. My voice feels different. I don't know how to work these mechanics right now. I don't know what I'm doing because we've been gone for a minute, man.
I don't know.
But as
Everything-
always, I gotta introduce my squad. I'm gonna start with the man, the myth, the legend. They call him Quan, aka OTR Quan. What's up, man? How you been?
Man, happy Saturday. Good to be back. OTR. It's great to see y'all, man. Y'all fellas looking nice and healthy, clean and blessed. And everything is good. Everything is well.
Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. And then, of course, last but not least, we have Brandon. B Mac is what we call him in these streets out here. You hear B Mac in the streets, you know to run the opposite way. They call him OTR Brandon on these social media sites. What's up, B? How you been, man?
Man, I've been good, feeling great. How are you?
For sure. Yo, I missed that. I missed you saying that because we haven't been on in a while. So first of all, let's start off by addressing these rumors because OTR or Off the Record Podcast stepped away for a little bit. So people think that we quit or there's some issues or whatever. There are no issues. We are just working on something very, very, very special that we want to do and take this podcast to the next level. So that's what we're doing. But we plan to keep this sports show going in the meantime while we working on the other situation. So,
In between time.
guys, y'all want to speak on any of that while we here? See.
We just keep
Our
it going.
guys at the lunch break hot take.
Oh, wow.
They said, "Wow, look who it is." That's how long we've been going. That's how long we've been going.
I'm waiting on my lunch break hot take merch. They got some pretty good merch over there. It'll be in the mail.
Yeah, I'm copping that defund the defense. I like
Defund the defense.
Let
Let me tell you about these guys. First of all, these are good friends of ours. They're killing it on YouTube right now. So please subscribe to their channel. Become a Patreon. Like I know these guys. I've known them for over 20 years, and I'm a Patreon. So I'm a member. So you should become one as well. Check out their tiers. Check out everything they're offering over there. Like I said, those guys are killing it over there. So salute to those people. I mean, to those guys, my guys over there.
Salute to y'all. Salute to y'all brothers.
For sure.
Word. So, like I said, man, people, we're fine. There's no issues here. But we're gonna drop these sports. We're gonna drop these sports on y'all ass for a couple minutes today. So
Let's get
I wanted to start, man. I wanted to start real quick with some NBA news, man. And Brandon, I'm going to drop something on you. I didn't mention this to you in the production meeting, but I want to drop something on you. Listen, your Knicks have been doing pretty good, man. Your Knicks have been doing pretty good, and as you can see, it's just the three of us. We're missing our Laker specialist or whatever we're gonna call it. We're missing Alex, so we don't have that. But I wanted to give you the chance and start this segment here, which is Brandon's Knicks report. You every once in a while you drop a little line on social media about how the Knicks doing, how your man damn his name slips me
Julius.
Right now. How Julius is dropping triple doubles. So I want you to give us a quick Knicks report on your squad right now, man. What's going on in New York?
Hey man, things are looking damn good in New York. I think we have progressed a little bit quicker or more, than I thought we would at this point. I know, you guys would tease me in the offseason and ask me, well, how many wins you think they're going to get this year? And so I think last year I thought that they would get 27, and it looked like they may have reached that. This year I expected 30 plus, and it looks like they were. I didn't expect 500, but the way Julius is playing, hey man, thanks to Julius, thanks to the Knicks front office, I think they're doing a great job. We brought us some talent. We're not overpaying for players. We didn't overpay for Russell Westbrook. Not saying that I still think he's a good player, but we're just not throwing money around. We're making smart decisions. We got the right coach. I think we got a great coaching staff behind Thibodeau. I am excited for New York right now. We're sitting around 500. I think we're the AC right now. We just beat Orlando the other night, so that might have put us one game over 500, or we're at 500 right now, whatever the case may be. And I know, Orlando, we beat Orlando. Orlando was on an 8-game losing streak, but Julius had another triple-double. Okay.
And Orlando just
Orlando
just beat the hottest team in the NBA last night. They beat the Nets last night.
So, they beat the Nets. Okay, so and that was on a back-to-back because they played us the night before at the Garden. And so now back to the Knicks, because we don't really address Jersey here until we talk about the real team in New York.
Here's a comment for you.
Oh, congrats to Manhattan. Yeah, see, we go back and forth with that. Their Jersey, we're Manhattan. Okay. But there was no point guard. We had no point guard that night. No point guard. Derrick Rose was out. Elfrid Payton was out. Quickly was out. We had Frank Ntilikina and Alec Burks. Julius stepped up with 17 assists. That's my Knicks report. Let's go. Let's go.
So one question for you before we move on. What are your expectations for them for the rest of the season? Do you expect them to hover around the 8th seed, or do you expect them to move up a couple notches? Maybe around 6 or 7.
It could go either way for a couple of different reasons. One, I think seeds like 4 through 10 in the East are like tight. So you have one bad losing streak, you can drop from 4 to 10 in like a matter of a week or two. Yeah. So given that, I know our schedule is tougher on the second half. When I say second half, I'm talking about after the All-Star break. So we came off, we played Milwaukee, then we played Jersey back to back. And no, excuse me, we played Milwaukee, we played Jersey. Who else did we lose? And Philly. Those are top 3 teams in the East. Straight out the All-Star break. Milwaukee gave us a little beating there. Julius didn't have a good game, but he historically doesn't do good after the All-Star break. But anyway, I think that we could be anywhere from 4 to 10, probably more likely around 6 to 8. I hope that we're there, because I do think that we are in the top 8 in the East easily at this point, but we'll see. I expect us to be in the playoffs this year.
Well said. Well, that's Brandon's Knicks report that I just dropped on mid-show. He didn't know it was coming. So
I didn't know it was coming.
He did a great job. But
I get excited. Let's go.
I figured he would like that. So that's a good way to start the show. But I'm going to bring you down a little bit. You're not going to like this next question. Oh, but Lord. Previous shows, man, we talked about the Nets. And the last time we actually recorded, that was around the time they were struggling after they got their big 3 or 4 together, whatever we're going to call it. Well, it wasn't a 4 then. But since then, they've added Blake Griffin, and they've gone on a tear. So
it's still a 3, but go ahead.
What do you guys think of the Nets, man? Like, are they the clear-cut favorite to come out of the East? Are they the clear-cut favorite to win the championship? Is it now them versus everybody? First, it was the Lakers game. The season started, it was the Lakers versus everybody. Is it now? Some people say it's now the Nets versus everybody. So is it their championship to lose?
I mean, the Lakers, they won last year, so they're still the team to beat. But at the same time, this team has been built to actually go and win it all. I mean, you don't have all those superstars on that team, and you don't take it, you don't take it all the way to the championship. So I mean, time will tell. Time will tell. But I mean, they're a powerful team, yo. They're they're a solid squad.
I think you could say it's us versus the world for a number of teams. And I just took a quick look here. I mean, you could say the same thing about Philly. It's us against the world because, Philly, they're the number one seed. So they obviously look good this season. And I know Philly fans are excited there. But nobody's really talking about them seriously about winning the championship. So they could say that. Jersey could say it. Milwaukee could say it. Miami could say it after coming out of the finals last year in the West. Utah, the Lakers, a bunch of different teams could say it's us versus the world. But we're talking about Jersey. They ain't got no excuse this year. That's all. That's where I'm gonna leave it at. They have no excuse this year. They are scary, but I'm gonna stick to my guns and say, as I shake as I say this, I'm still gonna say New York wins a championship before Jersey does. But Kyrie looks amazing. I was saying the other night, he looked like Spider-Man out on the court. Like his agility is ridiculous. You can't guard him.
Yeah. Donnie, our good buddy Donnie made a comment the other night where he said if Kyrie was 6'5" or above, he'd probably be the best player in the world. And I'm like, damn, like, yo, he got a point because that cat he's a beast, yo. He's a beast. And I mean, they're looking great. They're doing all of this without KD. And so when he gets back, it's only going to be that much more scarier. So look out for the Nets, man. A lot of people ain't think it was going to work out.
I admit, from my part, it was mostly hate. But I wanted Kyrie, shit. And you can see why. Like, people think he's a little wacky, but like I said, he look like Spider-Man out there on the court.
Yeah, Kyrie a beast. So shout out to the Nets, man. We'll see. I think the more, it adds more intrigue to the league. When you got the Nets playing like they playing, you got the Lakers, you got the Knicks playing better. You got Philly looking good. You got, even teams like Utah looking good, Phoenix looking good. So it adds more intrigue to the season. So I'm glad to see it all. So, while we're on the topic of the NBA, man, I wanted to bring up a couple topics real quick. This is just the culture side of our show that I wanted to talk about. One thing in particular, man, I wanted to salute LeBron James, man. LeBron James is now part owner of the Boston Red Sox. He joined a group with Mav Carter. Him and Mav Carter are the first two black males to be a part of this ownership group. So, man, salute to this guy. Like, he typically does something like this, and it's usually under the table. But he never ceases to amaze me what he does off the court, man. And I think we need to celebrate this type of stuff because he's paving the way for a lot of these other athletes, man, to like, hey, set yourself up for life off the court. So, Quan, man, what do you think about hearing LeBron becoming a member of this ownership group who owns not only the Red Sox, but they own one of the top soccer teams in the world? So, what do you think about it, man?
I think it's great. I have nothing but smiles. No, nothing but positivity and nothing but great things to say about it. And just for the mere fact that LeBron James is able to use himself as well as other people that's around him to do business and ownership and to transcend not only from basketball to from baseball to soccer and do other great things, man, it's amazing. It's amazing. I take my hat off to LeBron and Mav for for what they bring to the table. Not only for our culture, but for black men. I think it's great.
What about you, B?
I mean, I said, back when we did that collab with Diapers and Haircuts, shout out to those fellas. They're back and putting out some great content. I said back then when we did that segment on, influential top 5 black figures, fictional, non-fictional, One of mine was LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, and I think it's still early for him. I think this is just another notch under his belt, which hopefully will be a pretty big belt. A long history of great things that he's going to do, barriers he's going to break, examples he's going to set for those to follow, as he has done with great athletes before him like Magic Johnson. But LeBron, and I had this conversation the other day, last week actually, with my brother. I think LeBron, Magic Johnson was a great businessman. Is a great businessman as well, and he did some things while he was playing. But I think it's more publicized what LeBron is doing since like day one.
Yeah,
and I mean, since like day one of his rookie season, he's had one of the greatest careers in basketball that we've ever seen, and without a college education, has been one of the greatest black businessmen that we've ever seen, and he's not even 40 yet.
Yeah.
So, and I think he's going to make, he's going to do things in other areas as well. Some people don't like him. They think he might be a little bit of a diva, whatever. I think he's going to do great things. And this is just another notch under his belt.
Yeah, well said. Well said by both of you guys. I it's impressive, man. I think you brought up Magic. People like Magic, Mike. They've been doing things. Their business, their off the court life has been pretty good. I agree with you. I think this is the first time we've seen it, a career. Both careers kind of follow each other at the same time, while one's playing and off the court building a portfolio like the way that he's doing. So shout out to LeBron. I wanted to talk about that for a second and get y'all's opinion on that. While we on NBA still, man, a little bit of sad news. I read this week that Sean Bradley, who played in the league for 12 or so years, was known as 7'6", one of the tallest players ever playing in the NBA. It was announced that he's now paralyzed from a bicycle incident that happened back in January. Apparently, he was hit by a car while he was riding his bike, which has now left him paralyzed. So, prayers and well wishes to Sean Bradley. That was crazy to hear, man. Like, I and not to make light of the situation, but I don't know how you don't see a 7'6" guy on a bike while you're driving a car.
I was thinking the same thing. I just didn't want to say it.
Yeah, I mean, that's wild to me, but it was sad to hear, and well wishes to him and his family and his recovery and all of that above. You guys got the floor if you want to say anything about that.
That took me off. I didn't know about that till you posted it.
Yeah, it came out. I think it came out earlier this week that that he made I think he released a statement. I guess they kept it under wraps for a while, but he released a statement saying that he was now paralyzed.
That's incredibly sad news. Condolences to him and his family, or prayers to him and his family.
Yeah.
It's a lot to deal with.
Same thing. Prayers to his family, man, and just pray that God, some way, somehow, continues to, help him move on and, find something, the greater of the good, to do something. So, but something this too shall pass, and I really feel as if that he'll be able to do some great things. Yeah, prayers to his family, definitely.
For sure. So again, fellas, we're in the month of March, and this month is known for its madness. And one thing that I realized, like, people typically when they hear March Madness, they think NCAA basketball, the March Madness tournament. But March Madness also involves football free agency and a whole bunch of other things going on. But one of the biggest draws, of course, is the NCAA tournament. I personally love the tournament. You guys are kind of like, the tournament is what it is. But because I know you guys aren't avid watchers of the tournament like myself, I did pick some topics that I did want to talk to you guys about that you guys can give an opinion on whether you watch or not. And that leads me to The NCAA. There's a segment. This segment is going to be called the Men versus Women, and I I call it that because apparently there has been some. How I want to put this: the treatment between uh the men versus the women's side of these tournaments are completely different. And when I say that, that comes from amenities, uh, their food, everything, their swag that they got. You know, when they for each player that or each team that makes the tournament is just completely different. And I was actually surprised to see this myself. So I'm gonna throw this at you. It looks like it's just me and you, Brandon. Well, right here. Let me
The
move.
hell is that?
Let me move the banner. Let me move the banner real quick. Okay, so this is the meal that's offered to the women.
It looked
I
like shit.
yeah. So that's I believe the young lady that posted this said this is supposed to be steak.
Bro. Listen,
Ugh.
bro. There's no. You can look at the vegetables and tell that it's been watered down. There's no nutrients.
Well,
In
you can tell that's out
Ugh.
of the bag. So to me, this is what this looks like. That looks like Salisbury steak,
it. Ugh.
frozen that you warm up. The mash, it looks like instant mash, and it looks like frozen vegetable medley. Okay,
Yo,
so that's
hon-
what they that's what the women have. That when they showed up, that's what they get fed, and then this is what the men get. Now that's real steak right there. That's real steak. That's real
Yeah.
That's real macaroni and cheese and other type
Oh,
things.
wow.
Um,
wow.
so yeah, so it's been an ongoing thing this week. A lot of the women posting their treatment and what they're getting and what they're receiving when they get into town.
Oh man.
But that's not it. That's not it. So here's another picture. The top. This is a double picture right here. At the top, that is the workout area for the men. They created a ballroom in one of these uh hotels. They turned it into basically a gym, right? They got everything they can ask for. The bottom picture here is what they offer the women. On the table there is some yoga mats, and then as you see, there's a stand of weights that probably looks like it goes to about 25 to 30 is the highest weight,
Only one woman can work out at a time, it looks like.
apparently. So
Maybe two.
maybe two. So the question for you guys is this, man. How do you like how does the NCAA how do they drop the ball on this? How do they like first of all,
Penny pitching.
There's no room for penny pinching. All billions of dollars that the NCAA
right.
spending, like
This
there's no room for penny pinching. There's no room for them making any type of excuses for anybody, for women to even have that type of food. Yo, that food, you know what that looks like? That looks like Flanders burgers that you buy at Walmart.
Carl, you hate Flanders.
Y'all
Now,
catch me.
Flanders, listen, if you want to sponsor the show, we'll definitely eat a few Flanders burgers on the show. But Carl hates Flanders burgers. But so in the age where we've seen a lot happen in the last year or so, right? Where it was a lot of talk of equality for not just not just men and women, but like the whole race thing. But you get to the tournament time, and on one side of the ledger, yeah, you hook them up, and on the other side, you giving them like Quan said, Flanders burgers. Like it's just bad. I mean, the optics are very, 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 very bad, and I just don't see in this day and age and in a time where, because I mean, if you look on the court, if you look, I believe I saw last night watching the game. If you look on the court, like they have equality sprawled across the court. So, but it's not quite. Obviously, it's not equal. It's not equal there. So, Brandon, what's your thoughts on hearing about this, man?
I only laughed because it's so ridiculous. I mean, that picture that you just showed, the difference between what they were being fed. I mean, it literally looked like shit. Look at that. Like, what is that? Like, why does it have? What are those? What was it cooked on, like a Foreman grill? What are those, like, griddle marks? Is it? What is that? Like,
Bro,
it looks like
that was frozen and heated up.
Yeah,
I'd bet everything I own that's what that is.
it looked like somebody poured gravy on, like, a loaf of wheat bread or something. I don't know what the hell that is. Like, now that yeah, like, yo, why can't you give us the same shit, man? Like, I don't. There's not. What is there to say other than, like I said, it's penny pinching, and they thought that they were getting away. They probably been getting away with it for
a
very long time.
Yeah, that ain't the first.
I mean, look, look. People do this all over the world, especially in America. American run businesses, corporations, organizations. This is bad capitalism. I'll say this is bad capitalism. This is what happens when you try to cut corners and cut costs to increase revenue in ways that you shouldn't. I mean, what other excuse is there? We don't have the resources. That's a lie.
That's a huge lie.
That's a lie. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to use the same resources on women. And it's a shame.
Yeah. Quan, I mean, anything else on this, man? Like,
nothing more I could say. My thoughts on it. Looks like Flanders burgers. You can't serve people stuff like that. It's inhumane.
Explain to the people why you don't like Flanders burgers, Quan.
Because they turn orange, yo. If you cook them. I don't want to have anything to do with Flanders burgers. Sorry,
Quan, you did. I will give you your props. Many moons ago, when we had a group cookout and we went to Walmart and I picked up some Flanders and you was like, "Yo, don't do it." And I did it anyway, and they did turn orange on the grill. So, with Flanders, hey man, we'll throw that label right across the screen for the right price.
Wait, did you put them joints right on the table for us to eat?
Y'all ate it? Y'all tore it up.
Yeah. God damn.
I grilled them things, threw some cheese on it. Y'all tore them things right on up, man. Quan told me don't do it. I was like, yo, they cheap, man. This was back when we was broke, man.
So the question is, Quan, did you eat any of them? Because I'm there.
Sure Quan didn't. I don't think he did.
No, I didn't.
I was already Quan warned me, yo. He said, don't, yo. He told me, do not do it, yo. And I didn't know they were that whack until,
I was
already. Next time we'll have them shrimp burgers.
Yeah.
Now the Trader Joe's, y'all want to come at us with the shrimp burgers and throw that on top of our on our slogan and everything and give us some revenue for that, and we can discuss some things.
Shrimp burgers, yeah. But yo, while we on this topic though, to jump back in the NBA, this was something that was circulating on social media as well. So it was a comparison between Sue Bird and LeBron James and their accomplishments, but then you get to the bottom and you see the salary and their bonuses and everything like that. Now, part of the argument for this is obviously some people out there believe that the products aren't on the same level, right? That women's basketball isn't the big draw like the NBA, the men's basketball, etc., etc. Mm-hmm. I do think that the WNBA and women's basketball, I do think it has risen. I can watch women's basketball. I know some people say that they can, but I actually enjoy watching it, especially around this time, tournament time. But then even with that said, like you have people like LeBron James and Kyrie Irving and other NBA players that speak up for the lack of pay that these ladies get. So again, I'm gonna throw it to you guys, and to share your thoughts on this particular thing that's circulating as far as women being underpaid or feeling like they're underpaid for what they do as professional athletes.
You want to take this one? I mean, look. I mean, it's right. It in this case, it is about the market. I don't think the NCAA can use that same excuse, but when you're talking about professionally, yeah, it's about the market. If one side of the business is generating millions or billions of dollars, then you can afford to put your players are going to command those prices. If any of the WNBA players came in and, if they started demanding $200 million contracts, I mean, the league would probably, I don't know what their financials are, but I'm guessing they would go bankrupt. If the financials are there, are there to, the market is there and they can pay the players that, then yeah, and you also have to weigh into account that WNBA is, when you talk about in terms of where the NBA and the WNBA are, I mean, the WNBA is a newer league. It's more recent.
Mm-hmm.
So, in another 20, 30 years, however long, it took a long time for like professional men's basketball to get like, popular enough to be, marketed as a, as the business that it is today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But players weren't always getting these mega contracts. And then when you look, you see how the WNBA progressed. I mean, Sue Bird, $200,000 salary, they weren't giving that to the WNBA players that that started the league. I mean, you go back to like the Lisa Leslie's, the Cynthia Cooper's. I don't think they were getting $200,000 salary. So in comparison to where it is in the men's league professionally, I can understand that. I don't really have any problems with that. If we do have problems, then just start watching and going to WNBA games. Whoever has a problem with it, do that. And then the players will start commanding more money because they're generating more money. But other than that, I don't really have too many problems with it because of those reasons right now.
Okay. Quan, any thoughts on this quickly?
No, I mean, if they have the money to pay female players, and if they can do it and the market says it, then why not pay them? Why not pay them? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's, to Brandon's point, I don't think it's to the point where they could, ask for $200 million contracts. I do think the NBA itself is now the main source of funding for the WNBA. So we do know that they do have money there. I'm sure the salaries could be raised more than they are now. But to your point, Brandon, back when your mom was taking us to Mystics games back in the day, like, the league has grown tremendously since then, and as you said, the salaries has grown since then. But I do feel like there's room for a lot more growth there, because the women's game is growing. Because there's a lot more little girls out here that's interested in playing basketball, and that's important. Them being compensated well and putting out a good product is a good thing for our kids or these young girls to see anyway. So I don't know, man. All of those things just kind of came to mind when I looked at all of this stuff with the NCAA and the treatment of the women's side, and I also saw that floating up there, so I wanted to get you guys' opinion on that, of course. So again, good segment, but I want to get to the nitty gritty real quick because I know our buddy Quan got to go. So I want to throw this out here because I know this what he itching to talk about. So I'm a lead with Quan. We're gonna move to the NFL free agency, man. We're gonna move to NFL free agency. And Quan, you know what? I know what you're thinking right now. I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking that I got something slick to say about your team, et cetera, et cetera. Yo, I don't.
You about to give him props.
I don't, yo. Now this is what CBS has listed as some of NFL's free agents with winners and losers so far. My team is on here as a loser. They had the Pats, who spent a lot of money in the first 2 days. The Bucks, A lot of places are listing them as a winner because they kept the band together, and then Patrick Mahomes is down there because he got a couple new offensive linemen. Uh, us, the Ravens, they considered losers because we lost our pass rush. Shout out to Jose and the guys that fund the defense. That's what's going on there. The Seahawks. I seen the Seahawks make a few moves, so I don't know why they on the losers mark. And then Ryan Tannehill, he lost his tight end and his number 2 wide receiver. But what's not listed here is the Washington Football Club or team or whatever we call them. Corn, I gotta give you props, man. Y'all made some good moves. The Ryan Fitzpatrick move, I was like, I did tease you a little bit about that earlier in the week. But Curtis Samuel, William Jackson, and some other things, man. Like, floor is yours, man. How you feeling about free agency?
We cannot forget to mention Brandon's boy, David Mayo. We picked him up from free agency as well.
Oh, good.
The Giants.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't have David Mayo listed, but
we think he'd be a good special teams player.
Yeah, we thought so too.
But I mean, like I said, man, I feel like y'all one of the winners so far. So what are you thinking, man? How you feeling about the moves your team made so far?
Yeah, they're quiet but persistent moves. Quiet but persistent moves. Some people are scratching their head to the Fitzpatrick signing. Like I was saying on the thread earlier, I wasn't like but I wasn't I was like right in the middle. So yeah, I got the pictures. I seen it. So at the same time, got William Jackson, good corner. Actually was 8 on the free agency board. The actually first the top corner off the market.
Y'all needed that bad.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we definitely needed that. I like Darby, but he's too inconsistent and he wanted too much money, so he had to go. Yeah, man. I mean, it was a good move. Good move. Curtis Samuel, get the chance to pair it with Terry McLaurin again. They have great chemistry, and it's we have the 19th pick in the draft, so we can kind of move around and use that pick for other options. So,
who's the starting quarterback week 1?
Fitzpatrick.
Who's the starting quarterback week 4?
Fitzpatrick.
Y'all see where I'm going with this.
Keep going. I'll keep going. I want you to keep going with this.
All right, who is the starting quarterback in December?
If all says it, Taylor Heineke.
Oh, good. We have nothing to worry about then.
Really?
Why?
I think you do because we still won the East.
Why Heineke that late?
I mean,
why not just start him?
Why not Fitzpatrick?
Why? Maybe it
I
comes to a situation.
I can't wait.
Maybe it comes to a situation like it did just like last year. That's why you have that type of quarterback. So I mean, it's good. He's a bridge quarterback.
I might sit in my car just to listen to Sports 980, Sports Talk 980, because I love it. The first game, Fitzpatrick throws 4 interceptions. He's going to have some good games. He's the best quarterback ever. And then he has a 4 interception game when y'all trying to come back in the fourth quarter. Oh, I can't wait to turn on 980.
Even if he has those interceptions, like no one's asking him to come in and throw 40 touchdowns. I mean, nobody. I mean, we're not asking him to do that. When you have a top ranked defense such as ours, we can do it. Even though I am.
You can't turn the ball over.
Yeah, I am buying one of the defund the defense shirts, but when it comes to this, my team, I'm rooting for upgrade the defense. So as long as we keep that defense nice and stout and strong, we'll be good. We'll be good.
So Quan, what are some of your who are some of your winners and losers in free agency so far? Like what's a move? What are a few moves that stuck out to you that you were like, oh, all right, I like that signing for them, or this team is making some moves, blah, blah, blah.
Curtis Samuel.
So Washington football team. Okay. They're the winners. Okay. Brandon, same question for you. Who are some of your winners and losers? Who do you think did well so far? Who you think is slacking so far? And then I want to get your thoughts on your own team's free agency. How you feel they doing? And there's a lot of rumors surrounding y'all right now. Also, so what's your thoughts on all of that?
Well, I'm the type of person. Well, you gotta show me on the field, because we've seen instances where teams sign all these players. Oh, they're going to be, dream team. Remember that, Philly? And then these guys, they got to play together. They got to mesh together. There's a lot of things that have to come into play, even when you have the talent, especially in the National Football League. Everybody's got talent. So winners, ask me that in week 6 or 8. But I for the sake of this conversation, other than the New York Football Giants, which we'll talk about, I'd have to say the Patriots right now. I don't know how good they are going to be or what they're not going to be, but they were very aggressive early in free agency. And it looks like they've bought a lot of pieces that players who are versatile, but they'll definitely be role players. And you've got a good a coach. Well, people are questioning that now, since they've had the season they had. They didn't have Tom Brady, and now all of a sudden people are questioning whether Belichick can really coach. But because of their aggressiveness early in free agency and the names that they got, I think that they've won so far. Them in the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, they upgrading the offensive line. I mean, if you put a better offensive line, in front of Patrick Mahomes, that's not good for anybody other than Kansas City. So I'll say that. Losers, again, let's see when folks start to play. Some people get criticized. Some teams get criticized for not making moves. Sometimes that's what you got to do. Sometimes it's about the development of your players within the organization. What you got better than what anybody else's opinion. I laugh when I see post now power rankings after like a couple weeks of free agency. Really power rankings this damn early? So those are my winners, and I don't know who's losing yet. So I would say, you know what? I'll pick one. I'll say Philly. One, because I'm not a fan of Philly, and two, because if you were going to do this with Wentz, you might have should have traded him like before the draft last year or something. I don't think what happened in Philly worked out the way that they wanted to with Carson Wentz. And they have Jalen Hurts, but I don't think that situation ended the way they wanted it to end. So we'll see.
And what about your Giants, man? Like, it's rumored Kenny Galladay is meeting with y'all this weekend. A couple other big name people that the free agents that's left out there meeting with you guys. So
yeah,
is Will Fuller coming to town? I think something like that, man. So,
no, Will Fuller is already signed.
Oh yeah, that's right. He signed with the
Dolphins. He signed with Miami.
No,
we did. We picked up John Ross. Go ahead, Quan.
The receiver from Buffalo.
The receiver from Cincy. He was the 9th overall pick in 2017 or something like that. Whatever year that was. And his statistics show that when he touches the ball, he's a threat. But it's about durability with him. We got Devin Booker to back up Saquon. We're in the talks. According to what I've read, Galladay visited the other day or yesterday. And, he's still in New York. They're trying to work out a deal there. We got Leonard Williams back. But what hurt is that we lost Dalvin Tomlinson to the Vikings, and we lost Zeitler. I think Dalvin Tomlinson was a bigger loss. I do like Zeitler. Ravens, you got him, right?
Yeah.
Don't forget to mention you guys also picked up Mike Glennon.
Yeah, he's better than Colt McCoy. Look, I was very critical of Colt McCoy, but I think he did it for Colt McCoy. He won us a game in Seattle. I I think Glennon is better than Colt McCoy.
It's
So
funny how they him and Daniel Jones, they kind of match up as the same.
no, they don't. They don't. The Daniel Jones is the clear cut starter. There's no
Hey,
there's no, there's not. There's not. We're not
okay.
even.
You typically get Mike Glennon to play at least 6 games.
Ooh, 6 games.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so we lost Leonard Williams. And then we have Adoree Jackson, who, if he already visited or is scheduled to visit to play that other corner opposite of Bradbury, I'm excited for the team. Other than losing, we got Austin Johnson back on the interior defensive line. I think we're still going to be strong defensively. I hope we get Galladay, and we have the 11th pick in the draft. And so I'm expecting us to do something significant with that pick. Of course, the Giants love the tight end out of Florida. I forgot his name off the top of my head right now. And he looks really good. But we're also talking about getting Waddle. Waddle seems to be the consensus pick amongst the experts for the Giants. So if we get Galladay, if we get Waddle, we have Ross. We signed Kyle Rudolph. So we got Rudolph. We've got Evan Ingram, Saquon coming back, Devin Booker to back him up. I mean, but like I said, we'll see once we get on the field. It looks good on paper.
It sure does.
Well, I mean, yeah. You know what? I'm a little disappointed in my team. I mean, I do like the Zeitler pickup, but I know I'm only disappointed because I know we always take the slow route in this thing, and we wait for people to get cut. We wait for cap casualties and all of that for us to get involved. So whatever. But so I guess we're teetering on the line from being one of the losers right now. I guess we did lose Judon, we did lose in Ndakwe. And so that's our pass rush gone. So I guess we got to be considered losers right now. But I agree. We'll wait.
You got Lamar Jackson.
We do have Lamar Jackson. We do have Lamar Jackson. So we'll see how it goes. But we got to get that man some more weapons. So apparently we were close to getting Juju. And Juju took less money from us that we offered and a multi-year deal from Philly to go back to Pittsburgh one more year. So, and test free agency again next year. So I don't know. We got to find a way to get that dude some weapons. But when it comes to the Washington football team, Quan has to represent, of course. So Quan said his team was the winner. So there he goes, representing for his squad and his team. But I ain't mad at it. Well, fellas, man, look, that was somewhat of a quick one for us. We got a lot in here, got knocked off some of the rust. Was glad and happy to be back with you guys. So, of course, man, we got to do it again next week. But, I'm going to ask y'all for a little bit of your time real quick before we end the show. Usually, we end the show where we talk about we lose somebody in the sports world or entertainment world. We usually highlight that now. But I'm going to do something a little different. So recently, man, let's see. This beautiful woman right here. I recently lost my aunt, right? So this is my Aunt Pat. My mom's sister, means the world and meant the world to me and us and our family. So I wanted to shout her out. Recently, a couple weeks ago, we celebrated her life, and it was beautiful. And I just wanted to say a couple words about my aunt. So my aunt was one of the strongest women I knew, right? She was, you guys know what I've been through with losing family members and my mom, my dad, my grandmother. Watching my grandmother and then my mom suffer from horrible disease that, we call dementia, Alzheimer's, and all of that stuff. um, it was tough for me to watch my aunt suffer through that as well. And by all cases, I admit that I kind of ran from this one with my aunt because she was the strongest woman I knew, and it was just hard to watch somebody after watching my grandmother and my own mother deteriorate from that horrible disease. So, I hid from it, and um, I realized early on when with her battle with this that I couldn't. It was just hard for me to take it anymore. Um, so when she passed away, it just brought in the mind, just how great all three of those women that I mentioned, but especially my aunt, how they was. And one thing about us, our family is so close that we didn't have aunts and uncles, like we had second moms or other moms and other dads. That's how close we are. Our cousins, like we aren't cousins, we're siblings. That's just how close it was. So I lost another mom. Um, and it's tough, but I know she's in a better place. I know she's healthy again. And I appreciate y'all for letting me get a few minutes to highlight my aunt. Um, I want to say rest in peace to her. I want to say shout out to my family. Keep your head up. We here, we got each other. So yeah, man, I really appreciate y'all again for letting me get a few seconds to talk about this. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, is another great show. We back. You'll see us next week, man. Salute to all of y'all watching. Check us out. You can now, let me see. I think I got it loaded on here. You can follow the OTR Sports Pod on Twitter at OTR Sports Pod. That's exactly what the handle is. So check us out there. Follow Quan at OTR Quan on Twitter. Follow Brandon at OTR Brandon. Follow me at OTR_Mike. Follow Alex. He's all over. He's at Alex Highland, but also check out Laker Central. He's also all over social media. So again, man, thanks for tuning in. Quan, go get your hair cut, man. We out, B. Peace.
Trillo.
All right, hold up. I ain't let y'all get some final words. My bad, man. Go ahead, Quan. What you got in closing, man?
Oh,
I mean,
Trillo.
Yeah, man.
My bad. Saturday. It's great to be back on OTR Sports. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. Check us out on our Twitter, OTR Sports Pod. And like I said, we always shoot it with y'all. God bless, and we appreciate y'all.
B, any words in closing? My bad, bro. I'm rusty. I forgot how we do it.
Nah, nigga. Rest in peace on Pat. That's it, man.
Yes, sir. All right, people.
Please rest in peace on Pat. My condolences.
Appreciate it. All right, good people. We out. Zay, we gonna holler at you, man. Check out Lunch Break Hot Take, man. We out. Peace.
Peace.